I have a very special guest on our show today. I'm going to be interviewing Mark Presley, also known as the NerdGician. He also has other types of magic up his sleeve. He's also known as the Faces of Magic because he performs not only with the NerdGician character, he performs other types of routines. In the magic community, he's considered the master of thimbles. All right, thimble magic, yeah. Watch. If I pull that off there, it's gone. It's here. I was trying to fool you by having the red thimble right. I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay, but Mark, he does some really cool stuff with thimbles, so check it out.
Okay.
Let's do this.
And I'm here with the NerdGician. And hi, NerdGician, how we doing? Mark Presley from Chicago, Illinois, has decided to join us here. Like I said, the NerdGician is one of my favorite characters. Really enjoy the NerdGician and enjoy watching Mark perform with his character. So, how you doing, NerdGician?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great. But yeah, I know the NerdGician normally doesn't talk, so if the NerdGician wants to go away and we'll say hi to Mark, we'll let Mark do all the talking. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, by the way, I normally have regular glasses, but my nerd glasses broke, so these are my nerd sunglasses.
All right.
Oh.
Nothing like a backup plan.
Yeah, you always got to do a backup plan here. Okay.
Now we're going into the magic mic routine.
Yeah.
So
Keep it clean.
you're in keep it PG. you're in Chicago, Illinois.
That's right.
Yeah, and have you always performed in Chicago, Illinois, Mark?
No, actually I performed in Indianapolis, the Theater on the Square. That's produced by Taylor Martin. He does a magic show once a month.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I think I am. That sounds familiar.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually going to be there again this August, I think 2nd or 4th, whatever. The first Tuesday of August, put it that way, 2015, I'll be there. That'll be my second appearance there.
Didn't you perform at Colon, Michigan as well?
Yes, but not as the NerdGician. That was just boring Mark Presley.
Well, you have a lot of different. You have a different character. You have your Chinaman type character, and then
right.
Yeah, and then you have your Imaginator. That's more for kids and that sort of thing, and then you have your NerdGician. So you could be the 50 Shades of Mark Presley.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so
like the Imaginator, that's still a work in progress. And so is the NerdGician. It's an ongoing.
Yeah, they're both a lot of fun.
Yes, they are.
So how did you get your start with NerdGician? I mean, it's a comedy persona.
Right. Well, just to keep it short, I was invited to a Magic Friends holiday party several years back. He asked me to open up because he does magic too. I had no idea what I was going to do. I just kind of threw something together at the last moment. I tried to find the nerdiest clothes I could around the house. Went to Goodwill, picked up a jacket for like $5. It was bright and loud, 1970s,
Right.
And so I just threw something together, and the nerd doesn't speak, so I decided that I was going to do some sort of voiceover where the nerd just kind of goes with whatever the voiceover tells you, okay, I want you to go over there and pick up that box. Now show the box to the audience. And so this is pretty much just on the whim.
Yeah, and you do a good job with it too, Mark. And the thing that I like about it is that it is unique. Mm-hmm. We've talked about that a little bit ago, that it's very unique and very unique to your area, and it's gotten you on TV, right?
Yes, I've been on WGN Channel 9 TV locally over here about 3 times. I haven't made it done nationally yet.
Now you also are like in the magic community considered like a thimble master, and there's not a lot of people doing thimbles these days.
Yeah.
And
I like my thimbles.
yeah, and so can you explain that to us? What's the passion there?
Several years back when I was trying to find my way into magic, I was doing stuff with cards, rope, coins, and I just wasn't feeling the love, you know. And frankly, the only thing I was good at with coins was making money disappear.
Right.
And then I discovered a videotape, DVD that was sitting on my shelf. I think it's Master Manipulations by Jeff McBride. And then I put it in one day, and I was immediately hooked. And I knew then, at that moment, that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do thimbles. I knew that I found my niche.
You've got to have some right there.
What's that?
Thimbles.
Yeah, I have one right there.
There you go.
Oh.
And that's why you are the thimble master.
Thirsty. Oh my God! Until that happens. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh hey.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think that's important as a magician. You know, we all learn a lot of our magic from imitation.
Sure.
You know, I mean, years ago, I thought, well, I still think David Copperfield is the bomb, and I wanted to be Copperfield.
Everybody does.
And I found myself trying to talk like him, and you know what? It might feel like I'm being like him in the inside, but on the outside, I'm nowhere near him. And you know, you gotta find yourself, and it takes a lot of soul searching, and it takes a lot of trial and error. You know, there's been some things that I've done that are on, you know, video, and I look back and I'm like, God, that wasn't a good idea. You know?
I've done that. Just messing around, I put it out there and I'm like, uh-oh.
Right, yeah, you think it's good, and then until some of the magic community chime in, and, you know, sometimes the magic community can be harsh.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, they could also be very loving and supportive.
We're very policing.
Right. And I say love with the strongest.
Yes. You know, I've done, you know, all kinds of venues, and even hecklers are not as bad as a magician group that's just not happy.
Yeah.
I mean, they will just stare at you, and that's never good. At least a heckler says something, you can go back at them. You know, magicians, they just stare at you and just do this little... What are you going to do with that? So, all right, Mark, I'm going to ask you some questions. You've got a lot of performance. Me and my friends do in the magic community. We sit back and we chill, and we play a little game called One Time on Stage. And you've got some stage experience. I've got some stage experience. So I'm just going to ask you a question. You share with me quickly what you would do or how you've handled it, or if it's ever happened to you, and I'll do the same, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. First question is, what would you do if someone dropped the cards when you're doing a card trick on stage?
See, I'm in nerd character here. If I were to be the nerd, but
Sure.
If somebody dropped a deck of cards and it was just myself, I think I would just look down on the floor and then look at the person and then back down on the floor, and I would say, "Hey, 52 pick up anyone?"
Good answer. Good answer. Well, it happened to me, and it was basically, it was when my assistant was bringing the table over, my whole deck, which was in a particular order, just fell. And, yeah, and I did the Dan Harlan thing, which Dan Harlan did a long time ago, and I picked up on it, and it just instantly came out of my mouth, and I went, "Stay. You try to train them. You try to train them, they never listen." And I totally forgot about that trick. I said no. And then one time I was doing, you know, I had cards were spread, and the lady, instead of picking one card, she reached in and grabbed a handful. And I said, "One. Uno." What? And she just kind of looked at me, and I said, "You only need one card." So she started putting them back. As she's putting them back, she's showing them to me. It was hilarious. So I just rolled with it. But all right, so let me ask you this one. What would you do if someone locked you out of your dressing room?
Somebody locked me out of my dressing room before the show?
Before the show. You're ready to go on. You go out to the restroom. You come back. You find your dressing room door is locked and there's no stage manager. There's no tech crew. Nobody's around. What would you do?
Well, I guess I would have no choice but to just go on. You know, if they're announcing me, I would just go on as I am. And, you know, if they weren't expecting the NerdGician or anything, I would just probably carry on like I was just doing a normal show, like nothing happened.
Yeah. I mean, that's all you can do, right?
Right. I mean, why bring attention to it? The audience doesn't need to know that I'm not in costume.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure I could come up with a clever line, but you know, sometimes it's just hard, and sometimes it's easier to come up with a good plan and comeback when it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Than when you're asking. When somebody's asking a question, you know what I mean?
I think I would pull a fire alarm or something. I don't know. I would freak out, you know, what? But it actually happened to one of my friends. He actually got locked out, and he couldn't get back into his dressing room, and he had his bag in there, and this guy's a college performer, so he carries everything on stage, bloop, and he does his magic. And he did up like 5 minutes worth of jokes. And then he asked for the stage manager to join him on stage, and he said, "Hey, pal, why don't you go fetch me my..." And as he did that, he pulled out a buck and did a whole gag with it, and it looked like it was part of the show. But, you know, I'd panic. Okay, let me go to the next one. What would you do if somebody walked off stage in the middle of you performing a trick with them? You've got a helper on stage, and they just get up and walk off. What would you do? Yeah, okay. And maybe that's why they walked off, yeah. That could have happened, you know? No, that actually did happen to me, Mark. I actually had somebody walk off stage in the middle of a routine. She was not clear on my instructions. She thought the trick was over, but I only did like phase 1 of a 3-phase routine. And so it was hilarious. And, you know, I just did one of these things where I kept looking at my watch. I said, anytime you want to come back, I can start the show back over. It's hilarious.
Oh.
I would do that. Let's have to remember that. Do the old, what, do I offend? So let me ask you this. Where will Mark Presley be performing next? Where can people find Mark Presley?
Okay, well, if you are looking at this video within, you know, a few weeks, you'll be able to catch me at in Indianapolis. Theater on the Square, it's called, and it's a show that's run by Taylor Martin. And if you go to, I think they have a website, theateronthesquare.com. They do a show there once a month, magic show, and they usually have like 3 or 4 magicians. So I'll be there, and it's I believe August 4th. It's the first Tuesday of the month. I believe the show starts at 7:30.
Okay, cool.
Around there, yeah.
Awesome. And do you have a website, Mark, that I can put up down here?
Yes, I have facesofmagic.com.
All right.
That's not just for the NerdGician. That's for all my whole 3 characters.
Okay. All 3 of your split personalities.
Right.
And you're so fortunate that you have Jeff McBride, who is like, whoa, Jeff McBride. He is a legend.
Right.
He's one of your mentors, which is really cool.
Right.
And
yes.
So one of the things that you know, people don't realize is that every magician, I don't care how long you've been performing magic, we have our mentors, and we have those that mentored us and got us going and keeps us going, and we work together, and we go to these groups and we practice with each other, and you and I have shared ideas and routines and stuff like that even. So it's a great community. And but a lot of people don't realize that. They just think you just, you know, go to the library and you become a nerd and read magic and boom, you do it. But yeah, we do a lot of tweaking and working with each other. You know, I have so many myself to thank, but growing up, when you talk about heroes, you know, David Copperfield and all those guys, one of my heroes was Doug Henning. And a lot of people forgot about Doug Henning, but I did the message that Doug was sending out to the world was, to me, is awesome, you know.
Right.
And so that's cool. So, well, hey, Mark, I want to thank you for being on my show and
Sure.
chatting with me a little bit here and you know, showing us a little bit of your thimble magic. That was pretty cool.
Sure.
I knew you had them laying around. You had to. You're the master of thimbles and stuff.
I'm always prepared.
There you go. All right, man. Well, we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's a white one. I had a red one. Now I have a white one. I mean, I have 2 red ones. I don't know what's going on. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and email me right here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe to this video. I really do appreciate you liking and subscribing to my videos that I like. So, till next time, cheers. Till next time.